What's up, locals? Well, I wanted to do a video talking about the ultimate glow setup. And also curious if you can leave down in the comments if I'm missing anything from this sort of like ultimate glow setup in terms of like a disc that's missing. There's definitely going to be discs that are missing, but like what you use and what suits you for, you know, your glow rounds. This is my setup as of right now. So this video is sponsored by Limber Disc Golf, one of the best shops in the sport. I can't speak highly enough of what they do for the community of disc golf here in Calgary. Amazing selection of discs, bags, accessories, tons of community events they put on, fundraisers, disc dyeing nights, live music. Usually they have Disc Golf Network on in shop with 2 local beer taps always running. It's a great place to come and watch the final round of your favorite tournament. So for the month of April, be sure to use the code WeAreLocal at checkout to be entered for your chance to win a $60 gift certificate here at Limber. All right, now back to the video. Let's get right into it. We'll talk about a few of the accessories on the bag, and then we'll get into the discs. And I will leave sort of chapter markers down in the description if you want to jump to a part of the video. Starting off with my, I guess we'll just unscrew this. We've got my Naqua power bank. Just did a video on this recently. Essentially it is a power bank, but it gives you this adapter on the back, which gives me like sort of a variety of options for charging. I think most of us score our rounds through UDisc, and that's it's fantastic to have. But if you've been using your phone all day and then you get out for a round, sometimes our batteries can die on our phones and whatnot. So this has kind of been a lifesaver and really nice to have some power in my bag, both for this and a couple of the other things that I use in my bag, starting with my Halo from Disc in the Dark. My bag now, things have kind of updated a little bit since when we did that last video, and I would say that I actually now, I don't currently have the Helix in my bag right now from Night Round Disc Golf. I have kind of resorted back to the Halo from Disc in the Dark. I have 2 of them. I have one in always on mode that just lives up in my putter pouch. In its always on mode, if you remember me mentioning before, if you saw that video, it's a softer light, meaning for my putters, it just means that they're not like really, really bright, and it doesn't sort of mess with my night vision in the evening. And then the other one I've got here is set up as normal. I've got a remote right over here. Often I'll keep this in my pocket during the round, and then basically this has just been sitting in this side pocket here, and I've just been kind of using this, kind of like a charging station where, once it's on, I can hit the button. I'm not sure if you can see that light right now, but it is definitely glowing brighter there. So I've just kind of kept that in the side and treat that sort of like my glow oven. Drop a disc in there. I've got the remote. Usually it's in my pocket. And it's really quick and easy to charge. So this has allowed me to carry more discs. The problem with the Helix was, I love the rack, I love the organization of it, if you remember from that video, but it took up a fair bit of space in my bag and left me not being able to sort of carry the full like sort of gamut of like what I want to carry for a glow round. So I've decided to go with these for right now. Carrying on with just sort of accessories on the bag, I have a pretty small, just a little UV flashlight here. It will focus in, as I kind of mentioned in that other video. You can see here that it's can be focused, or it can be sort of a softer light that covers a larger area. And that's great just in the off chance that, like, my Halos, if I forgot to charge them or if something happened, I've got like sort of like a backup option. Or if I'm out playing with someone and like they forgot their light, it's just great to have like an extra. This is a flashlight as well, and it's also a hand warmer. So this kind of has like a dual purpose. Sometimes if you're just trying to find a disc, you need a brighter light. My UV light is great for charging a disc, but it's not the best for, trying to see if you're like on a wooded shot or whatever. So this has been great. It's a little hand warmer. It's super for winter golf. 3 different heat settings and a really good light. And I would say probably I keep them too because these two side pockets on my Rufus, it kind of gives these both purpose. I think these were meant to be, you know, used for like a marker or for pencils for scorekeeping, but I don't really do that, especially like for a glow round. I'm using my phone to score. And then the mini pocket, I've got my Eclipse 2.0 Nano. These are great because once you light it up at the beginning of the round, it will last for a few holes, which is kind of great to have a mini that actually lasts. And yeah, so I think that sort of covers everything in the side here. Oftentimes I will keep an extra mitt. Often I'll have like a glove on my left hand. If it's cold out, I've got my hand warmer, and then in the my hand warmer will go in my right pocket, my throwing hand, so that I can kind of keep my hand on my hand warmer and then be sort of like ready to throw. And I don't typically wear both gloves, and I haven't really ever tried those you know, gloves that you kind of wear in fall or winter. Leave a comment down below if you're someone that likes to use those. I've always just kind of like kept a hand warmer so that I could just feel the disc. I'd rather like feel it in my hand, but I know some people that like love those options as well. All right, let's get into the discs. So I think we'll start from drivers, I guess, and work our way back today. So in here, I have sort of like trios of discs, and we'll start with my my mantras, my collection of these. So I have 3 here. This is my, you know, original glow mantra. Still has my tracking Meet Me tracker on the back. I love having this, especially for winter. We just got like 10 centimeters of snow today, and if for some reason, you know, I couldn't find it, I will say the glow on this disc isn't the best, so it's great to have this tracker on the back just in case something happened where I couldn't find it, or again, if I'm playing winter golf and I know roughly where I threw it, this will beep and I'll be able to find my disc in either winter conditions or in like glow conditions where this disc doesn't glow the brightest. So this has been super useful in those situations. Not to mention during the day also, you know, if I throw it into like the trees or into some shrubs or whatever, it allows me to find it much, much faster. So still loving my Meet Me tracker. Slightly more stable. These discs, I believe, all have the same flight numbers, but these are varying degrees of stability. So that is my sort of like understable version, kind of straight flyer, I would even go as far to say. Then I've got my Totem series. This one here gives me more stability. I kind of like to think about this disc for my arm and the 1,043 meters above sea level that we are here. This is kind of like my Thunderbird, probably. I would say this is kind of like a, you know, 9.5 like -1.2 or 9.502, like something in like that kind of a range. And then at the top of this series, shout out to Disc Grayson Dyes. My friend Eric Johnson dyed this for me as a like collaborative of both my sort of like overstable mantra and my understable mantra. He did up this sort of collab here, shouting out both my astronaut and my lion stamp. And funny enough, bought this disc. It was a tour, a tournament stamp, excuse me. It was a tournament stamp from, I think, either this year or the year before, and it was just a cheaper glow mantra, so we wiped the stamp off and did this, and I kind of got him to dye it before I'd even looked at it. And when you see the profile on this disc, it almost looks like it's got the profile of like a yarn or like a slightly understable like tilt. It's got that like board flat top. It's almost even a little bit puddle topped, but a really, really high parting line. This is like a very unique mantra. I don't think you'd ever see one like this. I feel like it flies like probably like a Sexton Firebird, truthfully. Quite overstable, but again, it's pretty similar feel in hand, same plastic. So this is kind of like my trio of 9 speeds at the top. Now we will jump to a new spot in my bag, one that I hadn't really thought to do before. Oh, it's part of the next section, because I got it over here. All right, and that is a 6-speed section. I have a glow resistor, factory second glow resistor. Okay, and next up is my prototype glow, Eclipse 2.0 glow Crave. These are extremely rare, definitely the most expensive disc in my bag. Shout out to Double Ram Designs for hooking me up with this one. Double Ram does a lot of MVP stamps, stuff you've definitely seen before, and managed to sell me this one. I've been looking sort of everywhere for one, and it was nice to support someone in Canada. So thank you for this one. This is such a gem of a disc. If you haven't thrown a Crave, try to throw a Crave. They're amazing. It's kind of my straight flyer, as the resistor was my overstable, and third is my Castoplast Glow Stig. This is that like sort of like I think it's the flight numbers of a Leopard 65-21, and it actually flies like fairly true to those numbers, where I find like a Star Leopard can be like a fair bit overstable. All right, so that's my sort of 6-speed spot in the bag, and then this next spot here, I'll admit, gets a little bit crowded, but we're doing our best. So we've got a reactor, and in glow plastic, despite the numbers, this flies, I would say, a bit more overstable to the next disc, which is my Hex. Love, this is the Space Race edition of this, the true sort of first run glow Hex that came out. And that's sort of like my straight flyer. I would say like lately that disc is just starting to beat in a little bit and start to become like a bit more of a straight flyer. It's getting some turn in it now, which is nice to see. And then lastly is the Thought Space Athletics Mana. This is an awesome disc for a slower arm. This is either going to give you straight flight, maybe like a gentle turnover line, or if you need it to finish fairly straight, but this disc has been amazing. So it's a little crowded with my like sort of 6 speeds and my 5 speeds, because I sort of have an overstable 6, a straight flying 6, and an understable 6, and I kind of have an overstable 5, straight flying 5, and an understable 5. So this section of the bag is a little bit crowded right now. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this spot, because I feel like there's a lot of discs which are, you know, kind of close. But the feel of a 5-speed in this case is quite different to the feeling of my 6s. So, you know, they are serving a different purpose right now, but this is the spot in the bag where there could be some change. All right, carrying on, down we go. I've got my sort of overstable approach, which is my yarn. Funny enough, this disc can feel a bit funny in the hand, but it almost always comes out nice. I like the feeling of it on a forehand. I'm not a great forehand thrower by any means, but I just feel like the way my finger can like slide in if I'm going to do that sort of like 2-finger grip for a forehand, it just kind of like comes off the hand nice. I like just the way this disc comes out of my hand, and the dependable stability of it is kind of great. So that's my only 4-speed at the moment. And then we move down into my 3s. I've got my other Space Race disc, which is my Glow Pilot. And it's funny, I've seen a lot of people be like really critical of this disc, and I feel like they're always being sold. I love this disc, truthfully. It was overstable for a while, and I feel like the Hex, it's just started to like show a more neutral flight, even getting some turn out of this disc. I have a backup, and I'm kind of keen to get out and try to throw both of them to compare them, but this disc is not as overstable. I was kind of viewing it like my yarn was kind of my overstable and with really dependable fade, and then this was going to be sort of that like little bit of fade, but it's kind of becoming my straight flyer. Then I've got my Glow Proxy. This is that like slightly understable. I'm kind of working on my hyzer flip as a throwing putter, and this is kind of, you know, fitting that space. And truthfully, sometimes I even like it in a putting situation. So this has been that sort of like understable 3-speed. And then a disc that I don't see in a lot of people's bags, probably because of the feel in hand, it's a little bit kind of quirky, but my Glow Tui from RPM Discs. This thing, it's got a feeling like it's like a slow approach disc. Like it doesn't have the rim profile of a putter. It definitely feels more like an approach disc. And it has an understable profile to it, but then it also has a bead. Now, typically I'm not a bead guy, but when I got this disc, I just felt like it offered like really nice turnover or really nice flip up. It's quite understable, but it's actually the first disc I ever got an ace with. And I think once you ace with a disc, like, kind of got to stay in the bag at that point. So this has been kind of a gem. The non-glow version of this disc I find way more understable. I know that's the case with a lot of brands, but the glow version has been just kind of like that perfect balance for me, matching my arm speed and giving me like the versatility of like that shot when I need it. So kind of a utility disc for me as well. All right, up next is another utility disc. It's my Divergent Discs Golem, and this, I would say, it's like a rubbery yarn, basically. These discs have like a very, very similar profile, very similar shape. And the nice thing about divergent discs is, for something that's like a rubbery disc, I feel like it has like a little bit more firmness to it. And especially here, especially this time of year when we're looking at, you know, snowy conditions. As I just mentioned, we just got some snow. Obviously the snow is not going to be a problem, but when that snow starts to melt and our courses get like really, really icy, especially like, you know, around the basket, the green, so to speak, gets really icy, you need a disc that's going to like hit and stick. And this disc is an amazing approach disc serving that purpose, because even this, when it's icy, will often skip or, you know, get a lot of ground play, which typically it won't. I actually use my resistor, my 6-speed, as normally like my ground play disc. It's got a lot of skipping capabilities in it, so the yarn doesn't have as much skip. This has 0. The thing with this also is like, wherever you throw this, wherever it's gonna land, it's like literally just gonna like absorb that hit, and it's gonna bite, and it's gonna stick exactly there. So, you know, this is your dart. You need to throw this, and it needs to like, wherever it's gonna hit, it's going to stick. So, but a great utility disc nevertheless, and pretty good glow. As we go on to the last section here, up top, I have my putter. I've got a couple of Electron Eclipse 2.0 Electron prototype Envies. I love these, and truthfully I feel like the Envy and the Proxy, they're so close in terms of like feel in hand. If you gave me a glow Envy and you gave me a glow Proxy, I don't know if I could tell the difference. Maybe we should do that as like a little test. But they're pretty close, and I like that similar feel. I will sometimes do like circle 2 putts, or I will even putt with this sometimes too, just if I feel like I'm liking the feel of the plastic versus the Electron, which is more of a base plastic. But absolutely love these. I switched from Discraft Lunas last year, and because I play so much glow, it was amazing to get like a really good glowing putter in a base plastic. These are amazing. And I think lastly of all is my GyroPaloa, my Eclipse 2.0, what's it called again? Glitch. There it is. Took me a second. Yeah, my glow glitch. This one here, I've upgraded since I did my video on the Eclipse 2.0 glow glitch. This one is 162 grams, so quite heavy. Gives me a little bit of like, you know, bit of stability and a bit of forgiveness for my like poor form. And this is also like an amazing circle 2 putter. It's got obviously like a ton of glide in it, but you know, pros and cons if you're feeling pretty accurate. This disc with like minimal difference between like my regular putting stroke, I can get this to travel quite a bit further with that 7 glide. And it's not, you know, it's deeper, it's different, but it's not like terribly different to like my Envy or my Proxy. It's still got, you know, similar shape. It's definitely deeper, and it's, you know, definitely more of a catch frisbee, but this is not just great for circle 2 or, you know, stuff where you've got a glidey shot or you need like a big sort of sweeping turnover shot where wind isn't a factor, but it's also just a great warm-up disc to have. So that kind of summarizes the glow bag. And between the like lighting solutions, the backup flashlight, my hand warmer, and then my little like side sort of glow oven I've got here, you know, because of disc in the dark and their halo. I think the fact that they offer you a always on mode that glows dimmer. Originally, I didn't like that feature. I was messaging them like, how come you're not giving me like the full brightness? And that's fair, I see that, but obviously it's a small battery in here, and in terms of like the longevity of the lighting in this, it wasn't an option. But when you start to realize that like a dimmer light has a purpose, especially if, you know, these kinds of discs that you throw because you're really big into glow golf are all pretty much like Eclipse 2.0, like the best glow in the sport, having a dimmer light is actually helpful so that it doesn't sort of mess with your night vision when you're putting. So most of these discs have excellent glow. The Golem doesn't last maybe quite as long, but you know, anything in that Castoplast glow, anything in my MVP glow are all going to be excellent. Funny enough, like my Thought Space Athletics probably is my weakest glow of anything that I've got here, and it's still, you know, by all accounts pretty good. I guess too, I should include RPM in that conversation too. I feel like RPM is a slight bit brighter when you first light it, but it tends to dim. It tends to dim faster than my Thought Space Athletics stuff. But again, that's where my Meet Me tracker comes in handy too. Super useful, especially for a disc that doesn't glow kind of like as bright or for as long. Yeah, so I'd love to hear about your glow setup. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what it is that I missed, what you've got in your sort of glow bag or in your glow setup that I'm missing right now. But, you know, I think in terms of like lighting solutions, discs. Oh, one other thing I totally forgot. Excuse me. I also have this. This is from Kodiak Designs. They made these a couple years ago. He's not in like sort of like mass production right now, but I think he still is taking orders. I'll leave a link to his business down. It's on Instagram. And these are great because they are USB chargeable, but this is my basket light. I usually just kind of keep this in here. Yes, it's definitely chunky. Yes, you can get like, you know, kind of like a dollar store puck light that is smaller that works, you know, extremely well as well. I like this one because with the sort of donut shape, it just sits right on top of the basket. This has been an excellent option for me, and I absolutely love having this in my bag, you know, for a glow round if we're out somewhere where the lights on the baskets aren't that great. You know, having this light has just been amazing. It just sits right on the basket, very easy. Disc in the Dark did send us a light as well. It's one that clips right onto the pole, which is actually a great design. The only problem is, you know, with the Prodigy baskets that have sort of like, you know, chain links going horizontally across as well, it can be a little tricky kind of getting through those. And I feel like my community has a few courses that use those chains, and which makes, you know, having something like this much easier to just drop this on top of the basket. You're not kind of fumbling to get this thing clipped onto the basket. Those are great. I think if you're setting up for like a glow league and you do like a weekly where you're doing like setting it up and they clip on, they're like out of the way, you get them right up sort of like, you know, underneath the band, and they're, you know, you don't see them, they're not in the way, they guarantee good light. But for me, if I'm just like setting up a light while I'm playing, these Kodiak Design ones are great, although they do take up a little bit of extra space. But in my sort of minimalist approach, and especially with glow, we don't typically have like as much gear in our bags. I think this has been just a really versatile, really useful setup that fits me and my game. So leave a comment down below. Let me know what I forgot, what I'm missing, or what you liked about this this setup, and we will see you in the next one. My name is Ryan. This is Local. We are local.